Hello, welcome to yet another new episode, and your Nimi is there with you, and today we'll be moving on to the most important part. If you can look into the CBSE paper of grades 9, 10, 11 or 12, the most important ingredient would be the story writing. So as many of you have requested for the important point to be taken care of while writing a story, how can you get more marks while writing the story? I thought the answer is here. So we'll just look on to initially what is story and what is relevance of it, and then what are the important things which we can look into to gain marks. So we'll move on to the topic. Story writing. First, what is story writing? I'll tell you the simple way to gain 10 marks. At least 8.5 or 9 marks very easily. You just need a title and then the story as you can see. Title and then the story. And the story, it should be obviously the flow of proper thoughts. So now on, we'll move on. What is CBSE looking into the story? What does the CBSE want? So for story, you've got basically 10 marks. And I've written down here the division of 10 marks. Title carries 1 mark. So that's the most important thing. You might forget, like initially I've seen most of the students, they write the story and they think, okay, by the end of the story I'll know what is the climax of the story and then I'll write the title. But it's completely wrong. Please ensure you write something over there, later you change it, no harm. At least the pencil you can write on, or else you will forget. So title, it carries 1 mark. And ensure that the title is not that too long, it should be short and sweet. Okay? Moving on to second point, content. Obviously, content has got so much of important, like the characters and all those kind of things are very important. So content carries 4 marks. Accuracy, accurate words, new vocabulary and all is very important. That again carries 2.5 marks. And fluency, the language you're using, how well you are good in English. It's not using all new words and all, but more than new words, you can even find new vocabulary in your English textbook. So try using that. That's going to make you get more marks. So this is a mark level, mark division. So now we move on to the main or important elements of the short story. So the elements of short story means basically I've categorized into 5 points. The most important things which you should never ever forget while you're writing for the story. While you're writing the story, instead of directly initially writing the story, plan well. Only if you have a proper plan, and then, okay, what will my character do, what will happen next, and then the next, only then you can write a story. So before just writing the story, I would suggest you, maybe on the question paper or maybe an answer paper, just to write down or try writing the pencil few points, okay, this will happen. Proper thinking is needed. You can use that for during the 15 minutes of cool off time to think well what my story should be. Okay, so we'll move on to the elements of the story. The first one is setting. What is a setting? That's very important and most of you make error over here. Setting is basically a place, or it can be the time of the day. It can be morning, it can be, you can say the morning or midnight, or maybe you can say it was noon, it was a sunny day, it was early morning, 5 o'clock. All that is a part of setting. You can say Rahul just arrived from America to India. So it's known, the story is setting is in India. And he could see the vendors walking about. So you can see a picture, okay, the picture of India. Okay, so setting is very important. You can even mention about the weather. It was a cool day. It was a very beautiful day. It was a It was a sunny day. So these points should also be taken care of. It's very, very important to know to ensure the setting is there. Now, where will you write the setting? Setting should be done in the first few lines. It is a must. I'll give you an example. Arjun and Arun were best friends. Continue. That's a lead line. And you have to continue. So if you get a sentence like that, you can write Raju and Arjun and Arun. They were very close friends. And they were playing in a field. It was early in the morning, and what happened was all of a sudden they could hear a loud cry from the nearby. So they ran. So it was the early morning. That's enough. Just mention the time of the day or the place, or maybe the winter, season, weather, like that, anything can be done. Secondly, characterization. Obviously, they can be minimum of one or maximum of three. I think that's enough. That's an ideal one. You can have a character like as first person. You can do have one character, no harm. So when you mean by characterization, actually actually what I mean is you should give some description about the person. I'm not asking you to describe about the physical feature. He was fat. He was lean. No. That's not proper character. Yeah, that is a part of characterization which we can be categorized as physical description. Other than that, you can also give a description like he was very kind, he was caring, he was loving, he knew what to do at what time. The sympathetic way of looking, the sympathetic way of helping others would always render a mind. So these kind of words will help you literally to write a lot about the character. Next point, plot. When I say plot, few of this is ma'am, plot, subplot. What is plot? You should know that. Plot is basically the series of action. Okay, for example, Rahul, what happened to Rahul? Then what happened? Then what was the thing? Like that. The whole thing is called the plot. Actually, from the beginning to the end, together, it's called a plot. The whole content of the story. Okay. The next one is theme. We will go more into the plot in the next part of the video. Theme. There should be some theme. It's not, for example, okay, Rahul was walking all alone in the road. All of a sudden he could hear a loud cry. Then when he just turned, he saw a vampire. Please, for God's sake, don't bring in the vampires, ghosts, angels. Angels fine obviously, but still don't bring in all these negative kind of things into the story. Try avoiding vampire, ghosts, or you might have seen all the other kind of negative things. Please try, won't bring in. I've always seen another group of students who always bring Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, everyone to the story. Please. Those are others' imaginary characters. You have to build your own character. And if you really think and if you have the habit of reading a lot, I'm sure that brain will be open and get a lot of ideas. So that's about theme. So when you have a theme, ensure that you have a positive thing. Okay, like maybe something related to moral values, something really good. Point of view, that's very important. Before beginning the story, we have to be very clear how are you going to write the story. Is it first person or third person? First person, I hope everybody know. First person means I went there, I was walking all alone, I was trying to call out someone's name. That I is called the first person. Now what is third person? Third person nothing but he did that, she did it, they went, their house. All those are third person. He, she, they, their, all those will be added on to the third person. First person would obviously be I. So these are the important things we have to look into a story. So now we'll move on to the basic thing of plot. What is a plot and what should be written in the story, what should be the steps to write the story. Okay, these are just the elements which should be there in the story, which without that the story cannot be complete. They should be first person, how are you writing the story, the setting, the place and the time, characters, 1 to 3 characters, the physical description, as well as the other moral characterization, theme. There should be a good theme, positive theme. So these are the basic things. So now we move on to the plot, its importance, and the elements, or you can say the important things to be taken care while writing the story. Okay. Now we move on to the elements of plot. So as I told you, what is a plot? Plot is basically the series of action taking place from the introduction to the conclusion. So I've just jotted down in actually the 4 points. You can have 6 points actually. So just jotted down very 4 simple points. First point is the exposition. It might be or may not be familiar with you. Exposition basically means it's actually the stage of the story. You can say the base. Okay, now what is that exposition? It's basically called the very first introduction to the story. And the very first introduction to the story should be character plus the setting. Okay, so it's character, as I told you, the characterization and setting, where is it taking place. So that is actually the mixture, and that's called exposition. Now, the second one is the conflict. When the story is like moving forward, we can say they should be moving forward. Initially you will have the exposition, and then if you want, you can also add the rising action. What do you mean by the rising action? Rising action is actually the things which will follow to conflict. Okay, so rising action. Okay, what is happening as a background? We told about the character. Okay, Raju is actually staying in a flat which is situated in India, and then he is well living in all those kind of introduction, and then that introduction leading to the problem is called the rising action. You may have all heard about the thing. Oh, maybe you can say it is the exposition. This is called basically the plot diagram. Okay, exposition, and then you will have the rising action. Then you will be having the conflict. Then you'll be having the falling action. And then you will have the climax, and then the end, which is called the resolution. So that's a conflict. So rising action which will lead to conflict. Conflict is basically a problem. For example, Raju lost a job. That is a problem only. So now, as a writer, we should find a solution for the particular problem. Climax. Climax is actually the end point. You can bring in a lot of twist and all. Like, for example, you can say Raju planned to give a resignation letter, but at that point of time he realized that he is going to be promoted. Okay, that's a conflict. That's climax conflict. The basic problem was initially can be he had an issue in the office. Because of that, he thought of resign. He wrote the resignation letter. At that time, he realized that he is going to be promoted. So now that's a basic climax, and then the resolution. Resolution is basically the conclusion, the end, how you end the story. So this is basically the elements of a plot, or you can say the complete thing of story from the beginning till the end. So we can just quickly wind up. You need to have the exposition, which is a mixture of character and setting. There should be the rising action, which is leading to the problem, and from the problem, rising action, meeting a friend, and then friend becoming an enemy, and then the problem because of that. He thought of doing the resignation, and then he thought, no, I'll do something else, but and last he thought of resign and resignation. Later he realized that he's going to get a promotion. So that's the conclusion. So this is a very simple story. So it's no need to bring in a lot of things, but a little moral values, a good theme of understanding, care, a lot of things like that. So this is actually just a simple point of story. So one important thing is you should have a title, and obviously for a story at least ensure that you have the proper paragraphing. It's always said that the student write the title, then the story is like for 2-3 pages. Something called the most important thing, please don't forget, that's something called word limit. And for a 10-mark story, the word limit would be maybe 250 words. This is very, very important. Please stick on to the word limit. That is very important. Okay, so these are the important criteria which you have to look into. If you follow all these rules, I'm sure you'll be able to write a story well. If you have any questions or any queries related to this, please post on the comment box. I'll surely respond to you as quick as possible. So do subscribe and share it with your friends, all those who have problems in English. So do like and share it with your friends. Have a wonderful day. Nimi Raju signing off. Bye.